Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with Watch Dogs Legion. If you enjoyed this video, please tell your local hospital registrar to record every new baby as Modest Pelican no matter what the parents say, as this really helps spread the good word of my channel. Welcome back to London, where our organisation DedSec has been blamed for a series of attacks that have gone off around the city, which is quite hilarious. Not the bombs, the misdirection. I must pick my starting character, and I pick Christian because Jesus and I are best friends forever. He's an investment banker, so you also know he's honest. It's time to lead this revolution and take back the city from the harsh military group Albion. They're pretty violent, which is obviously wrong, but you've got to respect how efficient they are. I'm happy that I finally got my hands on the full game, so let's all pour ourselves a fresh glass of water and get into this sky blue hatchback. I immediately realise I'm being incredibly insensitive at the moment, especially as we now live in a politically correct climate. I'd like to formally apologise to everyone who lives in London, and I'll now drive a double-decker red bus out of respect to your culture. England honestly does have the best traditions. Football, teenage pregnancies. I guess that's actually about it, but anyway, we've arrived at DedSec HQ and it's time to re-establish our crew. I head down the spooky stairs and turn the lights back on, and just like that, we're back. I'm then told to go down to the Fight Club arena so that I can learn hand-to-hand combat. In order to pass this tutorial, I must beat up a woman. Wow, what a stitch up. Now I look non-politically correct, which is my new thing. I also seem more relatable to rappers now though, so. Some other members have rocked up, like this lass who is wearing some neon fox ears. She's a professional cosplayer, but apparently doesn't know how to tie a double Windsor. We've also got Kanye West, Conor McGregor, and of course my main man Christian. Before I start re-establishing DedSec's reputation, I need to build up this team. It's time to go scouting for some talent, especially as I turned on a setting called Perma-death. That basically means when one of my operatives die, they die forever, just like in real life. It makes things a little bit more spicy. I locate a protest, which seems like the perfect place to recruit a big unit for the squad. It seems I frightened them a bit with the aggressive parking of my large bus, but I decide to try and recruit this woman in the pig mask anyway. I proceed to accidentally pull a gun on her, and she gets down onto the ground and begins begging for her life. As far as building trust goes, this isn't a red hot start. Whatever, we'll get on with the story and find some fresh meat later on. For now, we've got to infiltrate Buckingham Palace. Our mission is to seduce and make sweet, tender love to the Queen of England, and then transition our purely physical relationship into a deep and meaningful long-term commitment. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not actually sure what I'm doing right now, but the important thing is I'm a stealth master. Observe here how I take cover behind a transparent piece of glass. I work my way through the compound, skillfully eliminating soldiers, and download a crucial piece of evidence that says, like the video and subscribe or Stealtho Rubbo will gently smooch your father's neck. Weird. I'm honestly getting a little bit sick of driving this bus around, and so I'm going to upgrade to a self-driving sports car. I'm so sorry if this comes across as culturally insensitive. I've also decided that this time I will actually play the game properly, and rather than say, pulling out a nail gun and shooting it erratically into a crowd of pedestrians like I did during my early access demo, I'll be a man of the people. I'm also a big fan of this invisibility cloak, and I wish I had one in real life so I could spy on the female bathrooms, I'm stunning and brave. I sneak up onto the rooftop using impressive parkour and then change this electronic billboard to remove the Albion propaganda. Are the people of London even being oppressed now that there's some youthful graffiti in their intersection? I don't think so. I then have a brief lapse in my new hero ethos and tase a homeless person in the head. Obviously, this makes me feel pretty alpha and gives me the confidence to leap off the roof onto the street below. I somehow survive, but this permadeath is going to come back to bite me, I'm sure. I can confirm it does make the near-death experiences much more extreme though. I managed to lose the police, but I can't keep risking Christian like this. I need to recruit some members who I'm not so emotionally attached to. They can be cannon fodder and happily lay down their lives for Pakistan. I begin the great search for the perfect disposable soldier. Eventually, I stumble across a hippie commune, and this should be the perfect place. Inner city stoners. No one's going to miss these big girls. A fashion designer, an archaeologist, how pathetic. While Christian's busy coordinating multi-million-dollar hostile takeovers, Mark here is touching himself to a Brachiosaurus fossil. You tell me who the real hero is. Anyway, I tried to recruit this guy in the yellow, but my recording software glitched out for a bit and we ended up here. I don't really know exactly how this happened, but unlike me, he wasn't able to survive a 2-story drop onto solid concrete. Christian is just built different. I finally find exactly the soldier I need. A silly moustache, a fedora, what more could you want? His name's Owen, and this gang is trying to frame him for a crime, and he says he'll join if I can help him out. I'll get Owen to do the dangerous missions that will end in certain death, because if he dies, no one will care. The problem is, in order to recruit him, I have to do by far the most dangerous mission I've ever done, which is quite ironic. Also, my shoes and socks are now soaking wet, so I have to deal with that. I'm aware that I'm trying to be a stealth lord, but if you put an explodable switch next to a red gas cylinder, I'm obviously going to send it. The guards try to find me, and after thoroughly looking on top of this crate, they give up. While I'm here, I even rescue some prisoners who are wearing some mean drip. I love the industrial prison tracksuits they have here. I proceed to free them all because I'm a great person, and also because I can recruit them later on to be more disposable meat shields. I discover that the gang is going to use Owen's car as a bomb, and I must stop them or he'll go to jail. This is no ordinary gang though. These are some bad malakas. I mean, look at this lad slab squatting so confidently. Truly frightening. I steal the car and take it to a nearby crowded park for the defuse so that if I mess up, I can share a grave with 40 other people and save on funeral costs. Things really escalate, and I probably shouldn't be using the car as cover, but then I suddenly remember it's a car and I can move it around while the defuse happens. God, I suck. The important thing is, Owen is now a part of DedSec. I kid you not, once I start resuming the storyline, his first mission is to hack into a drone. There was no life risk or bullets flying, he simply hacked into a drone and took a photo of some plans. This allowed us to take control of the suburb, which is great, but I can't express my disappointment that he didn't have to lay down his own life. I decide to invent a little mission of my own where Owen must defeat the entire police force in hand-to-hand combat. He fights bravely but takes damage, and unfortunately it looks like this is the end for him. Then out of absolutely nowhere, 2 Karens appear and start backing your boy up. All I want to do is have him die in the line of duty, but apparently that's just too much to ask as we defeat the police and no backup arrives. I obviously also defeat the Karens, and I guess we'll just continue the revolution for now, but this isn't over. DedSec have ordered us to recruit a construction worker to the cause as we need one of their larger drones. I arrive at the work site at 11 AM in the morning, and I can't say I'm surprised to see everyone sitting around doing nothing. Way to break the stereotype, guys. God, I sure do talk a lot of shit for someone who uploads questionable gaming content to YouTube. I decide to recruit Arthur, and he says if I can clear his debts, then he'll join. And basically, the same gang that did the whole car bomb thing lent this guy money and he doesn't want to pay it back. And now that I think about it, it sounds like he's the problem. Maybe this gang isn't as bad as everyone seems to think they are. They're out here generously loaning out cash, and I mean, who hasn't set off a car bomb before? I'm not going to hold that against anyone. I sneak into their hideout, and it looks like a damn bloodbath in here, but maybe it's just a big mix-up. They were probably helping children who had scraped their knees out of the kindness of their hearts. These tubs say human organs on them, but they were probably filled with delicious fruity popsicles for the children. I clear Arthur's name and then flee the area with one question on my mind. If you were a criminal, why would you get coolers custom made to say human organs on them? Surely you would write something else to avoid suspicion. The Tupperware company or whoever made these surely should have alerted the authorities. Alright, it's time to find out who really bombed London. I head back to the pub to meet the construction worker who thanks me for clearing his debts. I then switch characters and proceed to repetitively strike Owen with my wrench. He fought bravely, but it had to happen. He didn't actually die, he's just in the hospital, and this man can really dodge death, but we'll get him eventually. I call in the construction drone, which allows me to fly around with ease. I then steal some kind of server, which will help us recreate some holographic imagery and hopefully uncover some clues. I, however, am an intellectual and use it to make it look like this hologram is blowing me. As you can see, Christian came back for the fun-filled family-friendly missions. These clues lead us to another one of the explosion sites, but we've got a much more pressing issue on our hands. None of my operatives have given their life for Pakistan. With Owen in hospital for the next 49 minutes, I turn to Conor McGregor. You see, I like Con because he doesn't mess around with any tasers or non-lethal weapons. This big girl keeps a grenade launcher in his pocket. I'm taking the fight to Albion's doorstep, but things are escalating at a frightening pace. I end up pulling out my AK-47 and going on a bit of a rampage, but eventually take too much damage, and Con is dead forever. I'm weirdly sad about this. I turn to everybody's favourite cosplayer, who's about to do the exact same thing again, but this time far less epic as she doesn't have military grade weapons. Also, this time they sent in riot drones, which seems like a cheap shot, and eventually I'm gunned down and arrested. Hooray for clinging to life, but we sure did show them. I've uploaded another video featuring Stoddar and Fabian Chills on my other channel, Papa Pelli. Otherwise, thanks for watching, you absolute legends, and a massive thanks to those who support the channel on Patreon. Until next time, and as always, stay classy.